symbol. Here we go. Understanding percents is what we're going with today.
What does percent mean? Think about this question during the lesson. The floor plan for a discount store is shown. It is divided into 100 equal parts. Write the amount of space each department occupies as a ratio and as a percent. A percent is a ratio that shows the relationship between a number and 100. The percent symbol is this.
Okay. A percent is a relationship between a number and the 100. Okay. So n over 100 equals n percent. So n can be any number. So if we have 2 here, 2 over 100 equals 2%. 97 over 100 equals 97%. 5 over 100 equals 5%. Do you see that whatever number you have over 100 is the same number for your percent? 23 over 100 is 23%. 5 over 100, so that's one already, is 5%. Okay? So if you took a test with 100 questions and you got 80 of them right, you got an 80%. If you took a test with 100 questions and you got 10 of them right, you got a 10%.
That's not good. That's a failure.
Okay? If you took a test and there were 100 questions and you got 50 of them right, that means you got half of them right, you got 50%.
What is the value of the whole as a basic percent? As a basic percent, the whole has a value of 100. So, percent means 100. The ratio 14 out of 100, or 14 hundredths, names the part of the floor space occupied by the toys department. What percent is this?
Okay, so 14 out of 100 is going to be what percent, Hope? 14%. How do they get this 0.14 or 14 hundredths? How do they get that decimal? Austin? You're right. Not 100 divided by 14. 14 divided by 100. Let me show you. All right. 14 out of 100. That means 14 out of 100 means that, a fraction. Okay? And we've also learned a fraction means to divide. This is the same thing as saying 14 divided by 100. The same thing as 14 divided by 100.
Wouldn't that be the
Now, we can do this long division. 100 does not go into 14. It goes in there 0 times to put a decimal and put a 0. Now 100 goes into 141 time. Minus 100 equals 40. Break down another 0. 100 goes into 400 4 times. 0.14. 0.14. Or we've learned, when we've learned about multiplying and dividing by powers of 10, 14, every whole number has an imaginary decimal behind it. Divided by 100 would be this. When you divide, you're making something smaller. When you multiply, you're always going to get an answer that's larger than what you started out with. So 14 divided by 100, we're going to make it smaller by dividing by 10, 100, 0.14 or 0.14. All of those are ways that they get this. They get this decimal whenever they take 14 divided by 100. It's 14%. But I want to show you where that decimal comes from. Yes?
We can figure out the percent by how, like 9.100, we already know it's 97%.
You're right.
So we don't have to do anything.
You're not going to have to divide for these. No. Now later on in the chapter, you will. But all these are out of 100. You're right, so you don't have to divide anything. Because you can see that if it's 97 over 100, you get that same n, that same number for your percent.
The ratio 14 hundredths can be written as 14%. So, 14% of the floor space is occupied by the toys department. If 1/5 of a 100 square grid is shaded, what percent is this? What strategy do you use to find the answer?
Let's think about it. 1/5. They want me to find the percent. I don't know what the percent is, and we only know how to do percents when the denominator is 100. Can we do it? Ethan?
What two? I kind of pretend that 5 is 100, and
Okay.
I think that 25 goes into 100 5 times,
Okay?
and then I think the 1 would be 25.
You're exactly right. Way to go, Ethan. He's saying the 5, to make it 100, you take it times 25. What you do to the denominator, you also do to the numerator. We're going to take that times 25. 1 times 25 is 25. Now, we have the same n over 100 equals n percent. So 1/5 is the same as what percent? 25%. Very good, Ethan. Very good.
So wait, if you have, let's say you have 1/25.
Okay, 1/25. We want to know what that is as a percent. We don't know.
Wouldn't you just take 100 divided by 25 to get 5?
Well, 25 times what gives you 100? Not 5.
Oh, 4.
4. And then you take your numerator times 4.
So, okay, now I know.
Okay? 4%.
To find 1/5 of a 100 square grid, find an equivalent fraction that has 100 as the denominator.
And that's it.
1/5 of 100 is 20%.
Yes, Ethan.
But I don't understand. Remember we have a girl up there on the screen? Why isn't boys always like a boy?
I don't know. He's just the narrator. She's just the-
What department occupies 20% of the floor space?
Okay, so 20%. What department takes up 20%? So let's think about this. If we have 20% right here, then what's this n? 20, because these two numbers are the same, right? So I need to see, if I need to find which of these departments here is 20%, I need to see which of these has 20 boxes. Oh my goodness, I don't even know.
It's the blue one.
You think it's blue? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4. You're right. The blue, and the chart says blue is men's clothing. Men's clothing makes up 20% of this store. Women's clothing only takes up
Men's
the rest.
clothing occupies 20 out of 100 squares, or 20% of the floor space. What percent of the floor space is occupied by each department? Let's find out. Women's clothing occupies 25 out of 100 squares.
So therefore,
What percent is this?
what percent? No, 25%.
Women's clothing occupies 25% of the floor space. Children's clothing occupies 22 out of 100 squares. What percent is this?
Everybody?
22%.
Children's clothing occupies 22% of the floor space. CDs and DVDs occupy 9 out of 100.
Okay, I'm gonna move forward past these.
The checkout. The
Right now, Lord.
Okay, if you combine the percentage of floor space occupied by each department, the total will equal 100%. That's right. If I add up all the squares here for each department, I'm going to get 100 squares total, which I should, because there's 100 squares in all. If I add up each percent, I should get 100%, which is true, because this whole thing is 100%. 100% means everything. Describe some real-life situations.
Describe some real-life situations where percents are used.
We don't use percents in our grading. As you get older, you will. Percents are used in grading. Where else is percent used in, Ellie?
Like in cars and stuff like that.
Oh, very good. Yeah, your nutrition information. Very good. Wyatt?
Like when something's downloading.
Yes, very good. Tells you how much percent is complete. Ethan?
How much weight you lost?
Okay, sometimes. Yeah. Yes.
Like some different percentages in stores, like.
Oh yeah, yeah. Discount. Very good.
When they're building something, they're like 55% complete.
Okay.
How much kids are at school?
Okay. A lot of times we use percents on surveys as well.
Percentage like
Battery life, sure. Test score, sales tax.
Percents are used. Now you understand when and how to use percents.
All right, guided practice. Put this in your notes. All right, guided practice number 1. Write the ratio and the percent. Ratio and percent that are represented by the shaded part of the 100 grid. So we know there are 100 squares in all. And we need to know how many are shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 times 7 is 28 right there. And now 1, 2, 3 times 3 is 9. You're right. And that equals 37. You're right. All right. We have 37 that are shaded. How many are total? 100. You've learned when you do fractions, your denominator is always how many there are all together. And so 37 over 100 is our ratio. What is this as a percent, Hope?
37%.
Equals 37%. Percent is a dot or a shaded circle with a diagonal with another shaded circle. Whatever number you have over 100 is also going to be your percent. Number 2, write it as a ratio and a percent. Ooh, this time, let's look at this part first. See how many squares there are, then we'll add it to this part. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8 times 5 is 40. And here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 times 5 is 35. We add them up.
75.
75 in all. What is my ratio, Gabe? 75 over 100. What is that as a percent, Corey?
75%.
Why are you not writing this down? I already know how to do this. My job is to teach you. Yes. You're right, but did it ask us